All right, hello again. It's been almost a week. I don't know if I can do this. I have the monitor in my headphones and it's delayed by about a half a second. So it's messing with my brain. Maybe I'll just take them out. We'll keep this one going. Hopefully the sound isn't terrible. It was okay when I had them in there as far as I could tell. So hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, so I was going to do this yesterday. I wanted to do it yesterday. And then I put it off, and then I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore, or, had whatever second guessing nonsense. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so here we are. I was actually going to. So, first off, I'm going to start by saying that I knew this wasn't going to happen. So let's just have that out there. But last night or yesterday, and actually when I was wanting to record the first video that I did last week, I kept thinking in my head that I would do it like in the morning. So I was like, I could get up really early and like get some coffee and, sit and make this video in the morning. I'm thinking like whatever, like 6 o'clock, like something stupid early, which apparently I'm not capable of doing anymore. I can't get up that early. Because this morning I got up, my alarm went off at 6:30 and I hit the snooze button until like 7:45, and then I laid in bed until like 8:15 playing on my phone. So it was very whatever. It took forever to get out of bed, which always does. And I think it's like, even when I plan to do driving, because I don't work at the church anymore. I left in May, which that's probably going to be something I talk about on here at some point. Whine about on here is probably more accurate. But so now I'm just driving for Lyft, and it's of course like it's whenever I want to do it, whenever I need to do it. It's probably more accurate. But even that, like, even if I'm like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get started early, and I can do, get a bunch done and then have the rest of the day or whatever. Like if I don't have to start something, like if I don't have to be somewhere at a certain time, even if I want to, like even if I plan to get up earlier, I just don't. Like I wake up and I'm like, no, I'm tired. I'm not going to get up. So anyway, that's what happened this morning, as it does pretty much every morning. But yeah, so then I thought, and then I was still planning to do it this morning. I slow getting up, and then I did some yoga, which is good. Like I've been doing yoga for the past week, usually in the morning, which it's a good way to start the day. This morning was a little weird because, not weird, but it was like there were a lot of like stretches, and I realized that my muscles were not ready for stretches in the morning. I guess I need to like get up and walk around for a while first and then do it. But it was fine. But so I did that, and then I cut my hair, and I took a shower and made coffee and made breakfast, and then finally came back down to start, to get this going. And maybe I'll clean up my room a little bit. And I always have to clear off my desk, because like I clear off my desk and everything goes onto my bed, and then I'm like, oh, it's time for bed. Everything goes from the bed to my desk. So it's a very healthy life I'm leading. But so I had to clear off my desk, and then it was kind of like, I wanted to, and I was trying to figure out how to monitor this. I thought I could just go straight out of this little thing that I have. It's called an Apogee One, which apparently it's like 14 years old now. So it doesn't really work the way, it doesn't, the software doesn't work as well as it used to, but otherwise it's fine. But anyway, I was trying to figure out how to just plug my headphones into that and monitor it through there. And I was not having any luck. So I spent a bunch of time doing that, and I can't remember, a bunch of time doing other junk that I didn't need to do, but it was, stuff that essentially I was just putting this off. So yeah. So anyway, now it is almost 2 o'clock. So I really, just blazed right through my day doing nothing. But yeah, so I was driving, I told you I was driving for Lyft now. So yesterday so for those of you who may not realize, I hate to use the term road rage. So I'll just say I have some blank issues when I drive. It's just like when people are just rude, it drives me crazy. And I don't like it I don't like when people do things wrong. Which I'm sure there's some, psychological, like making myself feel like I'm better than them because they're doing the wrong thing and I'm doing the right thing. And, yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts of that junk in there, but yeah, so I think it was maybe after my first ride, like I just done one ride. And I was, turning off of the highway, so it's like, it's like a 55 mile an hour, whatever, but we're in the turn lane. And so I'm slowing down and going around the turn, and the person, flies up behind me and is super close to me. And so I just like, and so I actually didn't get like mad, but I was just like, back off, and I like motioned with my hand. And then, so we went around the corner and, it's like, I think it's, well, actually, so yeah, I think it's 25 there. I actually don't remember. I don't remember what the speed limit is there. I don't know if there was even a sign right there. So it is probably 25, but it's like a little short piece of road. And then you come to a little roundabout and you get onto the other road and it's 30. So, like there's nowhere like that you're going to be going fast. If you're following the speed limit, which way, how many of us really do that? But yeah, so anyway, so like super close to me. So I'm just driving like probably around 25. I don't know. I'm not going fast because there's no, like, you're coming up to a roundabout. There's nowhere to go. But then I get in the roundabout, still super close behind me. So then I get annoyed and I start like going like under 20, like real slow. And so then we come out of the roundabout and it's a 2-lane road, like one each way. And there's a little median, and then it's a little bridge. And so there's the barrier thing. So like we're on that road, the median, like the little tiny median thing is median shoulder, whatever, like the shoulder. It's well, apparently not quite, well, probably big enough for another car. Cause this person starts to go around me. And of course, my response to that is to drift to the side that they're going because I'm a goon. Say nice words. But yeah, and so I do that. And so like he flies up next to me and clipped my mirror. And so like, it wasn't like, I heard it, like it was like clunk and, like nothing really happened. But so like right after that bridge, there's a traffic light that goes into a neighborhood. And so this car like flew up to the traffic light and turned right. And then the traffic light turned red. So I pulled up to it and I was like, I'm going to follow him. Cause I don't know what's going on in my head. Like, but I knew I wanted to, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what I was going to do. Like, no clue. But so I followed him. And so I turned and then I see him turn right away, down a little ways at a stop sign. So I pull down there and then turn right. And then I noticed them in a little cul-de-sac. And so I pulled into the cul-de-sac. And so I'm thinking like they're at home. Like, and so he started like moving forward. And then I think the reverse lights came on. So I was like, oh, he's back into his driveway. But then he's just sitting there. And so like I pulled up next to him so that he couldn't go anywhere in his car because I'm in the way. And I rolled down my window, and I'm like, hey, you hit my car back there. And he's like, like didn't roll down the window. And he's like, and I was like, you hit my car. And he like rolled down his window. And I probably shouldn't get into all of the details of this because it'd be too long. But anyway, so like we're jawing at each other. Like we're not like yelling at each other. He's like a younger guy. Like he may have been out of high school, but like young kid. And so, like I was like, you ran into my car, and he's like, I don't see anything. I don't see any damage. And I was like, he's like, where? And I was like, well, I said, up there in the street. And he said, no, where in your car? And I was like, well, I don't know. I heard it. Like, and so he's like, I don't see any damage. And so, so then I'm like, well, you shouldn't be following me so close. And what's your problem? And he's like, you were going too slow. And I was like, you're following too close and driving too fast and being a jerk. And, and then so we get to this point where, like, it's kind of like this. I should have done this yesterday. I should have just come straight home and done it. That's what I thought about. But because I don't remember all the details. But basically, like, we got to the point where, shoot, now I don't remember. I got all in my brain. What did he say? I should have, like, written notes before I did this. But anyway, like, so, it came out, like, we got to like, he was like, I was asking why he was in such a hurry, and he's like, I just want to get home. And so I'm like, okay, so are you home? Why aren't you getting in your car? And he's like, oh, no, I'm not home. And so I was like, what are you doing here? So I'm like, well, you just pulled in here because you were trying to avoid me. You were hoping I wouldn't find you, right? And he's like, yeah. and so then, like, we got to this, like, we got to this point where, like, I can't remember. I said something about, like, I would like to, because I can't remember. I was telling, like, because he started agreeing with me, and so I was like, you just want me to leave, like, right? You just want to agree with me so that I'll leave, and you don't have to talk to me anymore. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I'd like to drive and not have to deal with jerks like you, but we don't always get what we want. And I know I didn't actually sound like that, but I should have, because it was stupid. Such a doofy thing to say. But anyway, so then we had this moment where we were just, like, staring at each other. I mean, it was like 15 seconds probably. Like, we just stared at each other. And so then finally I was like, I think, in my head it started being like, what do I want out of this? Like, what am I doing? What is the point? And so finally, like I took off my sunglasses and I was like, dude, like, I'm super pissed off. And I'm sorry for the way I'm acting or the way, whatever I said, or, I don't know what the point of this, like, I can't even remember exactly what I said, but it was basically just like, I just kind of apologized and, realized, like, I'm just being stupid. Like, this doesn't help anything. And so he like did this kind of like, he's like, like, and he, like, took off his seatbelt and opened the door. And I'm like, is he going to beat me up? Cause he's smaller than me, but he could beat me up. But he got out and he, like, stuck his hand in my car, like, through my window. And, like, so then I shook his hand. He's like, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm such an idiot. Like, I don't know why I'm such an asshole. And I was like, man, me too. Like, why am I being such a dummy? And he's like, yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I have to be in such a hurry. And I was like, something about being in the car just makes me angry. And he was like, yeah, me too. Like, I get so angry so easily. And so, yeah, so then we had this total, like, I don't know. Like, I'm doing it again. Like, I almost got teary eyed because it was just this, like, why are we both such dummies? Like, why can't we be nice to each other? So, yeah, it was just this kind of, like, I don't know. It was really cool. So then, yeah, so we apologized to each other. I told him my name was JT, and he's like, oh, I'm Brody. And I've been thinking about it. I can't remember if I said nice to meet you. But it was kind of that, like, I feel like, was it though? Like, probably wasn't nice for you to meet me. But yeah, so it was just this, yeah, it was, yeah, obviously, like, it didn't start well because I was being an idiot, like I'm always being. And, like, I pointed out that, like, yeah, like, maybe you're following me too close, but, like, if I slow down, what does that do? It just makes you more angry. Like, that doesn't help anything. I just escalated everything. So, yeah, it was kind of this thing where we were almost, like, fighting about who was being worse. But it was cool. So, yeah, Brody, good guy, lives in Lafayette somewhere, probably. I don't know. But oh yeah, and then he started, like, looking at my car, he's like, oh yeah, so did I, and I was like, dude, like, I'm sure it's fine. Like, look at the rest of my car. Like, it's not a nice car. And he's like, yeah, me neither. Like, look at mine. Yeah. So I actually haven't gone around cause it's on the passenger side. So I haven't gone around to look and see if there's even a, like a scrape on it or anything. But yeah, it's just one of those, just really cool moment. That came from something really stupid that I did, which is super rare. So, all right, well, yeah, so that was it. I think, I was talking about putting this off. I think I was a little a lot ashamed of myself. I'm frequently ashamed of myself when I act that way in the road. So, yeah, there was still that little bit of me that didn't want to tell anyone what happened, but it was just such a good outcome that I felt I needed to share the story. So, I don't know. Be nice to each other. Don't follow too closely. Go the speed limit. Don't be like me. I did spend the rest of the day. Anytime I started to feel like annoyed with somebody, I just said "be better" out loud to myself, and it helped. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep trying to be better. All right, love you all.